2:16 left here in the period. It is a 2-0 lead for Devin Stortz. And the thing of it is, these first-round matches so key because you win your first-round match, you still have that dream alive all day to get to the state wrestling tournament. As Danso able to get to his feet, but nice lift by Stortz, and he has a nice mat return as well. So Danso back in the down position with 1 minute left here in the period.
Now, if you lose this first-round match, you go to the back side of the bracket, and fifth is the best you can do. This is like an old-time kids tournament. I guess they figure by the time you get to districts, they can seed them well enough that first-round losers wouldn't have a chance to go to state anyway. And so you sit around all day waiting for the back side of the bracket. Devin's on top right pretty tough now. He's up on his toes, putting a lot of weight on Dan. So he's out to the side, trying to pull an arm up on the back. Working real hard, get that arm out. Now he's coming clear up over the head, trying to pull that arm up. Danso, he's trying to hide it underneath his belly. Now he comes back and then reaches in the crotch.
And a stall warning on Danso.
Danso back to his knees now.
20 seconds left here in the period as Devin continuing to be tough.
Rides the wrist. Now he's in the crotch, breaks him down flat. Now he's lifting for it. Now he's trying to tilt him. Didn't get quite there, but came awful close to a tilt. Hammering him really hard on top. Just really a hammer. And Danso is obviously not very good on the bottom. Comes up red. That's Danso's choice. He's going to defer. Now where we go? And going neutral.
After consulting with the coaches, Devin will go neutral as we go to the second period. Devin Stortz got a quick takedown in period number 1, and he leads it by a 2-0 margin.
He's really dominant on top. The score just 2-0. Why you don't want to go on? Maybe don't want to go under him, but Danso showed some activity on his feet. I'm not sure I wouldn't have put him on top. 2-0 top is not the place you normally go, but we were really working on him.
Again, Joe Kanoki got a first-round bye. He is the 2 seed at 106. Carter Hupka unable to make the call today at 113, so the Vikings going to be empty at 113, or open at 113, at 170, and at 182 today. Obviously, you don't want 11 kids in the lineup, but from a team perspective, basically the individual goals in a district meet override the team perspective, because it's nice to be a district champion or finish high in a district, but it doesn't allow you to qualify for anything.
Now you get a little bar on a plaque at the high school.
Yeah.
That's about it. But Stortz had a pretty good shot. Tried for an ankle pick off an underhook. Came pretty close. He went out of bounds, and now we've stopped it for blood time. Looks like Stortz has a little bloody nose here. 1:30 left here in the period. It is a 2-0 lead for Devin Stortz. Stortz wrestling Josu Danso of Davenport Central. Obviously, not a lot of familiar opponents for Decorah. Western Dubuque usually comes up to the Decorah Duels Tournament, and Dubuque Hempstead came up to the Chris Flanagan Wrestling Invitational this year. And as we get back to live action, we'll talk about that throughout the course of the day as well. Danso reaching for a leg, but Devin getting to a leg. Danso trying to circle around. There, he goes out of bounds. His feet are in. That's one of the worst calls I've ever seen. As we come up underneath, we turned Danso right to his back. Our feet were clear in up to the knees, and he called it out of bounds.
1:10 left here in the period. A 2-0 lead for Devin Stortz here at 120 pounds.
Stortz tried to go in after a leg, but kind of a head-down shot. Danso come up behind him now. Danso's trying to get behind him.
He's got the leg on the edge of the mat, and they go out of bounds with 55.4 left here in the second period. Stortz still leading by a 2-0 margin. And by the way, Joe Kanoki will wrestle Colin Korporek of Epworth Western Dubuque, who won by fall in 2:45 over Dalton Kelly of Davenport North. And Korporek and Kanoki, I believe that's a rematch of the duel up in Decorah.
Danso's trying a headlock, but we got his leg, and we got him up in the air, and we take him backwards down to the mat. And we got to move it up to a 4-0 lead.
4-0 Stortz, 25 seconds left here in the second period, Dave.
Now he's working a crossface good and hard. Kind of lower Danso's shoulder.
Looking for a cradle, brings the leg up. He ought to be bringing the head down, but he's bringing the leg up. And I think he's not quite, couldn't get it locked.
Latter stages here in the period. We're down to 3, 2, 1, and the period is now over as Devin Stortz with a 4-0 lead as we go to the third.
And Danso takes down.
And Danso's choice. And he is going to go up after consulting with his coaches in the corner.
Yeah, he didn't want to be under Devin very bad. He hasn't had much success down there.
And still some more blood from the temple area of Devin Stortz, so he will go off to the side and take some more blood time here. So Josie Danso of Davenport Central trailing Devin Stortz by a 4-0 margin. The next Decorah Viking on the mat will be Dirk Clark, and he actually is on the mat over at 126 pounds.
We're on mat 1.
And that is 24 seconds left here in the period. Dirk Clark leading by a 2-0 margin. We'll start the third period over here on the mat to our right, mat number 3. Stortz will start in the down position. He quickly gets to his feet, hasn't established any hand control. Now he turns and faces, gets the escape. A 5-0 lead for Devin Stortz. And here is Dirk Clark. Latter stages of the period.
He's got 2.
He got a takedown. He didn't get any back points off a pinning combination there. And Clark leading 2-0 as we go to the second period. And Clark will, I believe, go down to start the period. Devin Stortz still leading 5-0 in the mat off to our right.
Both of them head-to-head on their feet. Stortz maintaining hand control. Danso got a shallow underhook. Again, both of them moving Danso backing up toward the edge of the mat.
1:15 left in the period, and Danso has been warned for stalling as well.
He takes a shot, weak shot, long ways away. Devin is coming around. He's got a cradle on now. He's got the head and the side cradle. He's got his 2.
And a 7-0 lead now for Devin Stortz, and he's trying to lock up that cradle with a minute left here in the period.
That'd be nice. We get some extra points off a fall if we get it, but his head is not in the side now where it should be. And Danso's laying down kind of a fetal position with us on top of him, but there's not much we can do. Now the cradle's broken, and Danso moves back to his belly.
And over at 126, Dirk Clark still leading 2-0 as both wrestlers go out of bounds with a minute 22 left here in the period.
7-0, Devin Stortz with 34 seconds left, and he's pounding on top. He's got a wrist tied up. He's back in the crotch. Danso's up on his back on his belly now.
Clark in on a takedown over at 126. He's got the leg tied up. He's got his man on his back. Dirk Clark's got his man on his back, and there's the fall. Dirk Clark with a fall in 3:01 at 126. So Clark will move on to the semifinals as Dirk Clark with the victory over on mat number 1. The fall in 3:06, and here's Devin Stortz getting 2 back points as well as the period comes to an end. So Stortz will win 9-0. So bonus points in the first 2 matches for the Vikings on the day, Dave.
Now that was big because Clark actually, he was, if they seeded that far, he'd have been seeded 6th. And he beat the 3rd seed, a kid with a 22-11 record from Dubuque Hempstead. So that's a big upset there for Clark. Wonderful.
So, action taking place fast and furious here early on. So here is the Decorah results to this point at 1:03. And Kellen O'Shea is going to be on deck here at 132 pounds in the mat off to our right. And through 1:06, Joe Kanoki with a bye for Decorah. He will wrestle Colin Korporek of Epworth Western Dubuque for the semifinals here this afternoon. Decorah open at 1:13. Devin Stortz with a major decision victory at 1:20. He will take on Joso Dansu of Davenport Central. Stortz winning 9-0 and looking pretty good in the process. More importantly there, David.
Yeah, the 2 boys have been out there so far have wrestled really, really well and got after it. sometimes these records are a little deceiving. Some of these schools maybe don't wrestle as tough a schedule as Decorah does. I'm sure they wouldn't agree with me, but that's okay.
O'Shea, one of two ranked wrestlers at 132 pounds. O'Shea ranked 9th. Austin Hush, who beat him in the dual tournament up in Decorah for Epworth Western Dubuque, is the 6th ranked wrestler. And he is the top seed. O'Shea is the number 2 seed coming into today's meet. Taking a look at some of the other matchups, Isaiah Mitchell is the 7th seed at 138 for Decorah. At 145, Drake Folkedahl is the 8th seed. He'll have the tough task of taking on top seed at Alex Caldwell of Clinton in the first round of the tournament. At 152 pounds, Cody Rittner is the 3 seed. And at 160 pounds, Alec Belschul is the 2 seed. At 170 pounds, Decorah going to be open. At 182 pounds, Decorah going to be open. At 195, Sean Truin is the 7th seed. At 220 pounds, Carter Zidlicki is the 5 seed. And at 285 pounds, Decorah's top seed will be Austin Ashbacker at that weight class. So if you go by seeding, Decorah has 4 wrestlers in the top 2. But seeds are one thing. Getting it done on the mat, that's what matters, David.
And sometimes the seeds are a little misleading. There's situations where if there isn't somebody in the bracket as a number 3 seed who's really good, coaches won't argue much over seed 1 or seed 2. They'll meet in the finals anyway, most likely. Same thing goes with seeds 2 and 3. A lot of times it's very difficult to decide who's a better kid there between 2 and 3, so that's okay. They'll meet in the semis. 3rd and 4th, however, there is an argument about, because the 4th seed will go up and face the number 1 seed in the top half of the bracket in the semis, and nobody wants to go there. And so a lot of times there's a lot of argument between 3rd and 4th. 4th and 5th seed, on the other hand, that's a lot of times where they put kids in where they're just, got mediocre records. Maybe not a lot of difference between them. They'll find out who's the best man in the first round.
All right, here's Kellen O'Shea going to be up at 132, off to our right. Kellen at 13-2, ranked number 9 in Class 2, in Class 3A at this weight class. He will take on Ian Herron of Davenport Central with a 4-13 record as a senior. So here is Kellen O'Shea on the mat.
In on the leg right away, up through the back door. Herron hanging on around the waist, but we come right up behind him. Kellen moving with a lot of motion out there. He's got a half and a wrist, and he's got him almost on his back. There he goes. Referee's counting now. He's just way more of a horse than this kid. Good to see Kellen come back. Got the fall.
26-second fall for Kellen O'Shea at 132 pounds. So Kellen O'Shea on to the semifinals as well. And it's so good to see the aggressiveness out of Kellen there, because oftentimes he's the one gets a takedown because the kid is very good on his feet. He's excellent on his feet. Tries to hook up one move, doesn't work. He'll let the kid go and take him down again. But he got right to work after getting that takedown.
Put that wrist in half, far wrist in half on the near side, and took him right to his back. And it's nice to see him coming out like that after the injury, because he has not had a lot of, only 15 matches on the year. He's been out with a bad knee. They sure look good here today.
And let's go back to the Dirk Clark match at 126 pounds. That was a rematch of a match that we saw at the Flanagan this year. Ian Hurst of Dubuque Hempstead majored Dirk Clark. And Dirk comes back and gets a pin, and it wasn't a fluky pin either there, David.
He just overhauled him. And that's, of course, why Hurst was seated 3rd and we were seated 6th.
So, alrighty, well, let's next match we're waiting on is 138 pounds. We're glad you're with us at KDECradio.net. Dave Omdahl and Darren Swenson here at the district meet in a nice gymnasium down here at Epworth Western Dubuque. We're sitting here with probably as good of a view as anybody of this tournament.
Well, at least 2 of the mats. I can't say much for the mat 3.
Well, my view is fine.
You're sitting on that end of the
I shouldn't have said we there, partner. But nonetheless, 3 wins, 3 matches, and 1 bye for Decorah to this point. As the first few weight classes, hopefully
that kind of sets a tone for the day. I know wrestling, the very individual sport that it is, but is there a little bit of a team aspect when guys go out and take care of business to the level that they have in the first 3 matches that we've seen, David?
Oh, yeah. Well, particularly in a district meet or individual tournament like this, obviously you're wrestling for yourself, but if you take care of your own business, the team comes right along with you. One thing to mention about the buys, like Joe has, there has no opportunity whatsoever to pick up bonus points.
Yep.
Coaches don't like that. And you also don't score advancement points for moving on in a buy unless you win your next match. And coaches don't always like that either. So a lot of times in seeding meetings, there's a spirited discussion about where the buys should go.
Well, and I know you ran the seeding meeting at the conference tournament in Decorah 2 weeks ago. Today I had an opportunity to sit in on that, and it's something that it's very interesting just dealing with and seeing what all is going on in those seeding meetings. So let's look at a few of the overall results at 106 pounds here this afternoon. Jacob Schipper of North Scott Eldridge received a first-round bye. Sam Kruthis of Clinton won at 106 pounds, a fall in 2 minutes and 41 seconds over Jacob Faber of Dubuque Hempstead. Colin Korporich of Epworth Western Dubuque winning by a fall in 2:45 over Dalton Kelly of Davenport North, and Joe Kanoki with a first round bye as well. Let's move on to 113 pounds as I'll get my track wrestling out on the mobile device here and just give you the results as we come. Of course, we're going to focus on the Decorah kids, but we want to give everybody as good of a viewpoint as we can when it comes to these matches today. At 113, Chase Lynn, third-ranked kid out of Dubuque Senior, received a first-round bye. It was Mason Shannon of North Scott Eldridge winning by a fall in 17 seconds over Craig Harlock of Clinton. Also, Jacob Lamontia of Davenport Central wins by a fall in 15 seconds over Brendan Marsh of Davenport North, and Nathan Feldman of Dubuque Hempstead wins by a fall in 1:33 over Jacob Close of Epworth Western Dubuque. We'll move on to 120 pounds as we got some time to kill before Isaiah Mitchell is called to the mat at 138 pounds. At 120 pounds, it was Reese Howder of Dubuque Hempstead winning by a fall in 55 seconds over Marty Steffen of Dubuque Senior. We told you Devin Stortz will be his opponent. Devin with a 9-0 victory over Josie Dansu of Davenport Central. Bailey Thurm of Epworth Western Dubuque with a fall in 2 minutes and 31 seconds over Damon Dan of Clinton, and the number 2 seed Ryan Renkin of North Scott Eldridge. Renkin with a fall in 1:43 over Dylan Swinney of Davenport North. Those are the results at 120 pounds this afternoon. Let's move on to 126 pounds. This afternoon, the top seed Hunter Genko of Clinton with a bye, as I'm waiting for my mobile device to catch up with me here. We did tell you that Dirk Clark did advance. Dirk Clark, the number 6 seed, he defeated Ian Hurst, avenging an earlier season loss to him by a fall in 1:38. So Isaiah Mitchell is now up at, I believe this is Drake Folkedahl up here at 145 pounds, and Alex Goldwell, the 4th-ranked kid, has Drake on his back right now. Drake trying to fight off 15 seconds into the period. A quick takedown for Alex Goldwell. Drake in trouble, the sophomore who hasn't won a match yet this year, and there's the fall, 25 seconds, and just a flat-out mismatch there. When you get the 8th seed, you're going to get a very good kid, and Alex Goldwell, the 4th-ranked kid in this weight class in 3A from Clinton, picks up his 29th victory of the year and basically does what he needs to do for Clinton right there.
Yeah. So far, anyway, because we were going down the bracket. It looks to me like Dirk Clark is the only one that's not the only upset we've seen.
Let's go to 126 pounds. Connor Alchin of North Scott Eldridge with a fall in a minute 23 over Austin Paulson of Davenport North. Dirk Clark with a fall in 3:01 over Ian Hurst of Dubuque Hempstead, and he will wrestle Dane Ganson of Epworth Western Dubuque in the semifinals. Ganson with a fall in 2:21 over Joe Buddy of Dubuque Senior. Moving on to 132 pounds right now. As that bracket comes up, Austin Hush, we mentioned, with a technical fall, 16-1 in 3:16 over Nathan Armstrong of Davenport North. We don't have the results yet on Phillips and Hesselman and Riley Chapman and of Clinton and Ethan Stinson of North Scott Eldridge. And we mentioned Kellen O'Shea with the 26-second fall on his opponent, Ethan Herron of Davenport Central. And at 138 right now, Andy Doherty, Epworth Western Dubuque, got a first round bye, and the only result we have in on there is Curtis Ilg from Clinton, winning by fall in 2 minutes and 52 seconds over Bernie Ruiz of Davenport Central. So those are your up-to-date results of everybody to this point as we continue on the webcast here this afternoon. So there's two mats. The two mats which would be covering the basketball courts right now are still at 132 and 138. They're a little ahead on the mat to our right here at 52 pounds. So that's as up to date as we can bring you. The match we're waiting on, Jacob Duxini of Dubuque Hempstead and Isaiah Mitchell of Decorah at 138 pounds. And I believe that one might be on deck at 138 because Coach Friedoff is sitting over in the corner there on mat number 1. So
yeah, it looks like we're getting ready.
There are two ranked teams that are here today. In the latest predicament rankings, North Scott is ranked 6th and Clinton is ranked 8th. And of course, North Scott, and now coached by a name that many Northeast Iowa Conference wrestling fans will remember over the years. Drew Kelly, who was an absolute stud for Charles City, who had been the head coach at Ames for a while, now is the head coach at North Scott. He is coaching in the corner on mat number 1 with Eugene Kreider, and Eugene Kreider has a pretty good son that's wrestling at 195, a junior for North Scott, and Eugene's son Justin is a backup 97-pounder for the Luther College Norse. Eugene is a Luther College graduate as well, so I had a good chat with him beforehand, and he complimented your webcast last night, by the way. So
that's nice. Also, is one of the assistants at North Scott is Dan Meshik.
Yep.
Legendary coach of Don Bosco for so many years.
Yeah.
So,
and was he the head coach at North Scott for a while? And now
he went from Don Bosco to North Scott. Now he's down to assistant. So,
and Isaiah Mitchell is up on mat number 1 right now. He is taking on Jacob Duxini of Dubuque Hempstead. Duxini a 24-11 record as a senior. Mitchell 6-28 as a freshman. So obviously the records prove who's favorites here. How much fight do you got? That's the question here.
Yeah, this is first round matches. You know, you get seeded 7th. Well, you're going to hit a pretty good kid. But you got the backside of the bracket and.
Here's Duxini, had the front head stuff, circles around, gets the takedown to make it 2-0. Now
looking for a tilt, got a 1 count.
Looking to get the turn, and he got a 1 count once again.
Official on that mat is Bill Neighbor, down by toward Manchester way, I think.
Yep. T. Francis, another one of the officials here this afternoon.
From Dundee.
And now a headlock, and Isaiah on his back with 1:05 left here in the period. Isaiah fought off his back reasonably well, and now he bellies out.
Did a nice job of fighting off his back.
Isaiah ended up winning the JV sectional tournament, which was held Monday night at Decorah High School, and hopefully that just gives him a little bit of confidence heading into next year. It's tough throwing a freshman into a lineup at times.
138 is a tough weight. You get the kids in there, all ages, a lot of seniors at 138. A lot of those kids have been on the weights for 4 hard years of high school, and so they're a lot stronger.
25 seconds left here in the period. A 5-0 lead for Jacob Duxini of Dubuque Hempstead. They're at 138 pounds. The next Viking on the mat will be...
No, I'm really impressed. Isaiah has struggled hard, and he's fought, and he hasn't allowed Duxini to get any real tight hand control. He hasn't been able to, sink a deep half, cradle, stuff like that. They're doing a lot of things right, but we just don't have the power here.
It'll be Mitchell's choice, and he will defer. Duxini will go down to start the second period. A 5-0 lead for Duxini of Dubuque Hempstead.
Well, I'm glad Duxini did go down as far as that goes. It's nice to see Isaiah what he can do on top, and Duxini goes right into a switch. We're trying to get our hips up on top of him and get a leg in, but our hips are down. Duxini will probably come through off this, but goodness, if I was Duxini's coach, I'd have put him on top. We were turning, he was working fine there. There's never in any danger, and it's a 5-zip. Not a close match. Isaiah's now he's got a leg in, and he's up on top, riding pretty tough.
1:30 left here in the second period. Duxini with a 5-0 lead on Isaiah Mitchell.
And sometimes early in the season, the coaches will put a kid down so he gets some practice working down there.
Yeah. If you're a really good...
Not in the district tournament.
If you're a really good kid, oftentimes you don't have a lot of work in that down position because you're beating kids that badly. But Isaiah doing a nice job here. Had a leg in. Now he's working off to the side.
Yeah, he's got him flat on his belly. Duxini trying to get up. Now he's in a tripod stance, but his feet aren't moving, and Isaiah knocks him down again. He's down on the mat.
50 seconds left here in the period. A 5-0 lead. Duxini back up to that tripod, but breaking him down once again is Isaiah Mitchell. Tries the cross face up top.
30 seconds. He rode him for a minute and a half.
35 seconds left here in the period. A 5-0 lead for Duxini, but Isaiah Mitchell doing some nice things here in that top position.
Doing a great job on top.
Now, the choice in the third period, you keep him on top, don't you?
I think I would. I wouldn't go down under him. I think I'd keep him on top.
14 seconds left here in the period.
I'll tell you, as bad as Duxini looks on the bottom here, there's got to be reason for hope. He's trying to work a far side cradle. Now you've got him broke back down again.
And Isaiah's looking off to the side, and Coach Friedoff gives him the thumbs up. And
we're going to take top.
Yeah.
Duxini looks at him like, what? You're not going down?
Yeah.
Smarter than that.
Your best chance is just staying on the top here. Duxini with a quick move off the whistle, but Isaiah circling behind.
Just a half move was all it was, and Isaiah's doing a nice job. Duxini's coming to his feet. We're trying to pick him up. Oh, nice. Brought him down parallel to the mat. Lifted him completely off the mat.
1:40 left here in the period. A 5-0 lead for Duxini off the 5-point move early on, but Isaiah Mitchell has rode him for 2.5 minutes now.
He's just, he's really beating the crap out of him from the top.
Yeah,
it really is. I mean, if this is a senior 24-11 and a second seed on the bottom, boy. You got to get up off the bottom.
A lot better than he's doing, quite frankly.
Isaiah's riding him tough, though. He's on his toes. He's got his head down a little bit now. I'd like to have him head up a little higher, but
Duxini has only gotten to his full feet once, and Isaiah had the nice mat return at the start of this period.
Excellent. Yeah. Now he's Dexini's coming up, turning, and Isaiah's trying to follow. He's behind the arm. Let's get a little farther behind. Now he's over a leg. Got his head down a little bit. I like seeing his head up a little. Dexini reached back. I think he could snatch it and bring him over, but Dexini hadn't made any attempt at that. So
35 seconds left in the period. Isaiah not scoring here, but as a heavy underdog, you cannot.
Now Dexini gets a stalling call, in which I really don't like because heck, I'm very happy with him not moving down there.
Yeah,
I'm sure his coaches are probably tickled to death to get that stalling call against him because he's doing that. He's just trying to defend himself. Isaiah's riding the wrist really good now.
And Isaiah just not at a point right now where he's strong enough to really hook something up and make a turn against a senior. No. But you know what? He rode the kid out for 4 minutes. 1 5-point move is all Dexini gets, and he will move on. But you know what? Tip of the hat to Isaiah Mitchell. Isaiah has struggled from a record perspective this year, but the fact of the matter is, for the last 2 periods of that match, that's, I think, probably some of the best wrestling Isaiah's done this year. And you know what? At a district meet, that's all you can ask, right, David?
Wonderful improvement. I saw Isaiah at the beginning of the year, and boy, varsity is a little too much for him, but he hammered that kid for 4 minutes.
And on the same mat, Cody Rittner of Decorah, 25-14. Chance Skiles of Davenport Central, 6-23. And Cody Rittner with a quick takedown, 8 seconds in. It's a 2-0 lead for Rittner as they go out of bounds with 1:49 left here in the period. Coach Friedoff was talking about kids like Rittner and like Felstrel. And this is where the 3A probably helps those kids more because Rittner's style and Felstrel's style, the first time you face it, you really can't simulate it. There's an escape for Skiles to make it a 2-1 lead.
Yeah, Skiles went in on a takedown. Rittner front head locked in. Now he's got a head inside cradle. He got him flat on his back, and Cody's on top of him just where he ought to be. A lot of kick out of Styles, but Cody's really up on top, just where he should be. I don't know why in the world they haven't called the fall yet.
And there is the fall.
There is the fall.
1:16 is the time of the period as Cody Rittner gets a fall in 44 seconds. So the Vikings threw 52 with only 1 loss, and the 1 loss wasn't even that bad of a loss to this point. So I guess from an
Kokomo.
Well, and 2 loss. Yeah. You're right. I forgot about Drake, but all in all, from a realistic standpoint, you probably couldn't ask for a better start to the day for Decorah.
No, Decorah has really been wrestling well, and the good news is that back as he goes toward 5th place, Isaiah will have Bernie Ruiz from Davenport Central, a senior, but with a 4 wins and 13 losses record. And I'd almost be willing to bet a number of those 4 wins might be forfeits or buys. So Isaiah needs to get pumped up and get ready for that one.
Yeah.
In the first round of the consolations.
So the next Decorah weight class will be Alec Felstrel. He has a bye at 160. So Decorah will not have a wrestler now until 195 and Sean Truan. So it'll be a while before Decorah is back on the mat right now. So as we take a little time here, let's update you on what else is going on. We'll get the track wrestling results out here. We left you last at about 1:32, and a reminder for those of you waiting for updates on our sister station, I will be doing some of those in the 2 o'clock hour, and Dave Amdahl will be doing solo for about 5 minutes per hour after that, but it's nothing that Mr. Amdahl can't handle. So, and next week we'll have complete coverage of the state wrestling tournament on both AM 1240 KDEC on FM 100.5. And we'll have updates on the FM side. We'll have hold by hold on the AM side of Decorah and Southwind and Turkey Valley wrestlers. And as the afternoon proceeds, since 1A and 2A districts will get done before this one, we hope to bring you some results of the 1A and 2A districts
Cresco down at New Hampton today. They have 8 wrestlers wrestling. And when's the last time you saw New Hampton only qualify 1 wrestler per district?
I can't remember ever. And he's a good one.
A darn good one in Connor Cleveland. And let's update you on what's else is going on here. At 132, we told you Austin Hush got a technical fall at 132. He will wrestle Matt Hesselman of Dubuque Senior in the semifinals. Hesselman with a 4-0 victory over Caleb Phillips of Dubuque Hempstead. At 132, Riley Chapman of Clinton will be Kellen O'Shea's opponent. Chapman goes to 22-16 on the season with a 4-2 victory over Ethan Stilson of North Scott. We mentioned Kellen O'Shea with the 26-second fall at 132 pounds. At 138 pounds, as we wait for that bracket to load here.
Andy Doherty at 138 from Epworth Western Dubuque had a bye, so he's moved on.
And he will wrestle Jacob Ridgway of North Scott Eldridge. Ridgway with a fall at 1:51 over Anthony Siegworth of Dubuque Senior. And on the bottom side of that bracket, we talked about it, it's Curtis Ilg of Clinton winning by a fall in 2:52 over Bernie Ruiz of Davenport Central and Duxini of Dubuque Hempstead with a 5-0 victory over Isaiah Mitchell of Decorah. So we just heard Carter Zidlicki called on deck. So we'll keep an eye out for him. As we move on to 145 pounds, Alex Caldwell. We mentioned him a fall in 25 seconds over Drake Folkedahl of Decorah. He will wrestle Selby McNair of Davenport North. McNair with a technical fall in 6 minutes flat, 21-6 over Jacob Houghton of Davenport Central. So Houghton will be the next opponent for Drake Folkedahl on the backside of the bracket here this afternoon. At 145 pounds at the bottom side of the bracket, Blake Thurston of Dubuque Hempstead. Thurston with a fall in 1:40 over Tyler Renkin. Not Tyler Renkin.
I thought he lost his eligibility.
Yeah.
His eligibility's all used up.
Well, and what's he doing being a traitor anyway?
Yeah.
So
it spelled different.
It's Renken of North Scott Eldridge.
Our Tyler's R-I-N.
Yeah. And Tyler won't get stuck in 1:40 at this level, or at least he shouldn't.
Sure.
But he will move on. And Levi Hush, Epworth Western Dubuque, a fall in 2:26 on the bottom side of that bracket over Luke Horner of Dubuque Senior. Let's move on to 152 pounds. Dylan Ganson of Epworth Western Dubuque received a first-round bye. He will wrestle Carter Kramer of Dubuque Hempstead. Kramer with a fall in 5:04 over Keel Brown of North Scott Eldridge. Cody Rittner with a fall in 44 seconds over Chance Skiles of Davenport Central. And Rittner will wrestle Dustin Caldwell of Clinton. Caldwell with a fall in 1:12 over Charles Cook of Davenport North. Caldwell, the 9th-ranked kid, will be Rittner's next opponent. And it's going to be a tough draw for Rittner there, as there's 2 ranked kids at 152 pounds. At 160 pounds, Jacob Farrakrug of North Scott Eldridge with a first-round bye. He will wrestle Jacob Birds of Epworth Western Dubuque, fall in 2:24 over Brendan Stroller of Clinton. It's Carter Dock of Dubuque Hempstead on the bottom side of the bracket. Dock with a fall in 2:24 over Nick Easman of Dubuque Senior, and Dock will be the opponent of Alec Felstrel at 160 pounds. Carter Zidlicki is up. This is a 4-5 matchup to take on Gannon Grimmel of Dubuque Hempstead. Zidlicki is off to our right. He is taking on Ryan Gomez. 2 kids, very similar records. Carter at 15-13, a junior. Gomez at 14-13, a senior.
Yeah, that's at 4th, 5th seeds. They don't mean a thing. That's where they throw the kids with even records.
And there is a quick takedown for Gomez, 30 seconds in, and it's a 2-0 lead.
He's got Zidlick pretty well broke down on his back.
No back points yet with 1:19 left here in the period.
Gomez basically riding on top, pretty parallel, trying to tie up the wrist. Carter gets back to his knees now, but he's got to come up. Gomez tries to tilt. Looks like you got maybe a 1 count. Got to get the arms free. Carter. There, he's back to his knees again. Got an arm free now. Now we got to move. Moves back into him, but
just a 1 count once again for Gomez.
He's got the arm tied up around the waist, and I think he's probably going to get 2 out of there, although I can't see the official.
He's not holding any fingers down, so a couple of counts and no points awarded. They go out of bounds, 36 seconds left here in the period. A 2-0 lead for Gomez here at 220 pounds. Sean Truan yet to be called at 195 pounds.
We're pretty fortunate there because he had about 4 1 counts.
Yeah. But not consecutive.
But they don't count. That's right. He's really riding our wrist hard. Gomez is really riding our. Got a cross wrist ride, and we got to get that arm free. Take that wrist away from him. It looks like this kid will try and tilt again.
15 seconds left here in the period.
Now we got our wrist move. We got our wrist free. Now Gomez brings him over.
Sean Truan, we notice he's on deck at 195 pounds. And at the end of the first period is upon us here at 220 pounds. Carter Zidlicky for Decorah with a 2-0 deficit on Ryan Gomez of Davenport North. And a neutral start here in the second period. So,
whose choice was that?
I believe it was Carter's.
Then they better get
moving.
Better get moving a little bit. He got taken down in the first period.
And Gomez got in on a shot very early in that period.
Nice slide by Gomez, but didn't work. Carter squared up with him.
Forehead-to-forehead tie with both men in the center of the mat with 100.
Another slide by, but we can't get around behind him.
Sean Truan's going to be up here at 195 pound here on mat number 2. Gomez tries to double on the side of the mat, but Zidlicky gets the hips back and goes out of bounds with 1:34 left here in the period. 2-0 lead for Gomez.
Both of them forehead to forehead. Now we don't really have much of a collar tie. We're going to move him. We need to be a little tighter net. Gomez tries to get to the side a little bit. Carter squares up nicely with him.
1:13 left here in the period. A 2-0 lead for Gomez. Carter took neutral here, but he hasn't really been in on any shots.
No, he hasn't been in on any shots. Gomez is the one that's in on the shot now and go out of bounds. They're both up. Yeah, we took neutral for a reason, and we need to be moving him. Now Carter's down on a double, but he let one leg go. He's still got the single, the other leg. He's got to come up with it. He's got
50 seconds left in the period.
Now he takes him out of bounds, and his feet are in. Oh, come on now. 1 foot did go out. I've been watching the Luther meet last night. Had been a takedown in college.
Yep. 47 seconds left here in the period. At 195, Justin Gilliams of Clinton and Sean Truan are scoreless on mat number 2 with 1:15 left here in the period. Here's Carter attempting a shot, fails to grab a leg. Gomez circles behind and gets the takedown.
Carter made a shot, but he missed everything he shot for and went down to all fours, and Gomez on top now to take a 4-0 lead.
Gilliams in on a double leg attempt on Truan on the other mat. Sean gets the hips back and goes out of bounds. 1 minute left in the period over there. First period, 7 seed and a 2 seed. Gilliams of Clinton and Truan of Decorah, 0-0 on that mat. And here's Carter getting to his feet and getting a late escape with 2 seconds left in the period. It's a 4-1 advantage for Gomez as we go to the third. No score yet over there on 95. Gilliams of Clinton still scoreless. He's been in on a few shots, but Sean has been able to counter him nicely. Gilliams is an 8th-ranked kid for Clinton at 195 pounds.
Yeah, Sean is on a slide by there on Gilliams, but he didn't. Sean squared up with him nicely.
20 seconds left here in the period.
Sean might have one of the toughest brackets in the tournament.
Yeah, there's 3 ranked kids in that bracket.
Yeah, the 3rd-ranked kid's 33-6. The 4th-ranked kid's 31-10.
Yeah.
That's a lot of wins. We're on top in the 3rd period now with Carter Zidlicki on top.
No score as we go to the 2nd period on mat number 2 at 195 with Sean Truin.
Now Gomez is out for 1, so you got a 5-1 lead.
Sean's going to go down to start the 2nd period, or yes, he is going to go down to start the 2nd period. It was his choice to go down.
Yeah, no score like that, but you about have to go down.
Gilliams off to the side. Sean quickly gets to his feet. Gilliams still has the legs. Sean trying to establish that hand control. They fight with 1:48 left here in the period.
On mat 3 here, Carter Zidlicki was in on a shot, but
and Sean gets the escape to make it 1-0.
His legs back.
And here is Gomez.
And he should have got the takedown there because he had 2 feet in as they went out of bounds.
Yep.
Carter's not wrestling with a lot of focus here. We're just rolling around on the mat.
Sean up 1-0 at 195. Forehead-to-forehead tie with him and Gilliams. Gilliams in on a double leg attempt. Sean able to get the hips back. Gilliams still has control of that leg. Sean has stuffed the head to this point. They go out of bounds with 1:11 left here in the 2nd period. Truin leading 1-0.
Zidlicki on mat 3 here is up and out to make it 7-2.
Yeah. He's got 30. He's open for a 5-point move to move on to the semifinals here. 55 seconds left here in the period.
Now he's in on a leg, but Gomez sprawled. We can't get our hips up under us. Now Gomez just hops over the back on top. And we just stopped completely on the bottom there. No motion.
And Gomez up by a 9-2 margin. 38 seconds left here in the 2nd period on mat number 2 at 195. Gilliams and Truin, and Sean Truin still leading by a 1-0 margin. And Zidlicki's match is now done at 2:20. Zidlicki's match is now done at 2:20, and Gomez will win that one 9-2, and Zidlicki will get a bye into the 5th place match this afternoon. So only one more match to wrestle at 220 pounds. So Joe Kanoki is on deck in his semifinal match, which will be his first one of the day. But let's keep the focus on 195. Sean Truin with a 1-0 lead on Justin Gilliams of Clinton with a 1-0 lead at the end of the 2nd period. So Gilliams will obviously take down the 8th-ranked kid out of Clinton with a 29-8 record. Gilliams quickly to his feet.
Stands up, grabs Sean's leg. Tries to pull Sean down. Sean goes into a wizard position, tries the seatbelt. He's got the hand over the head. He can just drive across now. He's got the hand over the head. Got the other arm under the arm. He just didn't step into it quite hard enough. Boy, that'd been nice if he could have thrown him to his back. 1-1 the score right now. Both men on their feet, head to head, up toward the center of the mat.
1:25 left here in the period. We're tied at 1. Sean Truin putting up a good fight against the 8th-ranked kid at 195 pounds, Justin Gilliams of Clinton. Here's Sean.
Gilliams got his legs back pretty good. Sean kept his knees moving, but
Gilliams is tied up the arm, trying to circle around. Sean loses control of the leg, and Gilliams gets a takedown. It's 3-1 Gilliams with a minute left here in the 3rd period.
And Sean on the bottom.
Gilliams gets the go-ahead takedown with 56 seconds left, and we're now at 48 seconds. Sean is on the bottom side as Gilliams goes for the far side cradle here. Sean trying to get to his feet.
Sean doing a pretty good job of now. takes him back through, gets the hands locked. Sean thought the hands pretty good, but Gilliam's got him locked. Now he's scoring back points.
27 seconds left here in the period for Gilliams. Steve Francis, the official, awaiting to give him 3 points once the grip is unlocked. And the grip is unlocked now. It's 6-1 with 13 seconds left in the period. Pretty good fight out of Sean Truan, facing a very good kid via the rankings, and Sean Truan will fall to Gilliams by a 6-1 margin in probably what on paper is the best bracket of the day at 195.
Did 29 wins, obviously.
You had 5 of the 7 wrestlers in that weight class with at least 25 wins.
Yeah. And you know, if you remember when you've read the results this first round, almost all of them have been falls.
Yeah.
You know, you get a number 1 seed against number 8 seed, a number 2 seed against number 7 seed. That's what happens. But Sean fought extremely hard.
Number 2 in your semifinal match, Chase Flynn.
And on mat number 1, Joe Kanoki's mat, he is on deck at that weight class right now.
95-pound quarterfinal match, Justin Gilliams, where Flynn advances via 6-1 decision.
And we will await his results. We'll give you a couple of other weight classes as long as we've got the time here. At 170, Decorah doesn't have a wrestler there. Derek Gallenhurst of North Scott Eldridge will wrestle Dylan Chase of Clinton. Gallenhurst with a 7-1 victory over Kevin Pape of Dubuque Hempstead. On the bottom side of the bracket, there was 2 buys. Jacob Parent of Davenport Central and Max Lyon of Epworth Western Dubuque. Let's go to 182 pounds again.
All buys.
All buys in the first round. That's including Mitch Bowman of North Scott, Darian Witt of Clinton, Ryan Kennelly of Epworth Western Dubuque, and Brandon Haas of Dubuque Hempstead. Bowman of North Scott Eldridge is the top-ranked kid at 182 pounds, and a ranked kid as well with Haas of Dubuque Hempstead, who was very impressive at the Flanagan Invitational earlier this year. Let's go to 195 pounds. Colin Kreider of North Scott Eldridge, first round bye. He will wrestle Bryce Horner of Epworth Western Dubuque. Horner with a fall in 319 over Dan Toma of Dubuque Senior. Jordan Trowers of Davenport North with a fall. And a minute 36 over Nick Wissing of Dubuque Hempstead. So Wissing will be Sean Truan's opponent in the next round as Justin Gilliams defeats Sean Truan in the first round of competition. At 220 pounds here this afternoon, Gannon Gremmel of Dubuque Hempstead, number 2 ranked kid. He got a first round bye. It was Ryan Gomez over Carter Zidlicki, 9-2. And we don't have a result, we do. Brandon Korporich of Epworth Western Dubuque with a fall in 257 over Evan Gertis of Clinton, and Cordell Eaton of North Scott Eldridge with a fall, with the first round bye, I should say. And at 285 pounds, those 2 matches are on the mat right now. Austin Ashbacker, the only top seed for Decorah, with a first round bye. Tyler Clark of Clinton is the number 2 seed. A freshman with a 27-10 record. Dylan Holfler and Tanner Heron is this match right now. Holfler of Epworth Western Dubuque is 18-20 and a junior. We'll keep an eye on this match a little more, because that will be Austin Ashbacker's opponent in the semifinal round of competition. So we are awaiting the 6-pounders. Joe Kanoki is the number 2 seed. He is on deck over there on mat number 1, and on mat number 1 it is tied 5-5 with 42 seconds left here in the period. So we're keeping you up to date as good as we can, but we're obviously focusing on the Decorah Vikings here this afternoon. So Korporich leading 7-0 at 285. So the Decorah wrestlers that are in the semis, Joe Kanoki, Devin Stortz at 120. Dirk Clark at 126. Kellen O'Shea at 132. At 152 pounds, Cody Rittner. At 160, Alec Felschel. And at 285 pounds, Austin Ashbacker. So those are the kids that are still alive to still have that dream alive of making the state tournament now. And it's I believe the Davenport North kid won over there. Is that the color I'm seeing over there, David?
Looks like it.
Or, yep, Devin Ramirez defeating Corbin Cavis. So, Shipper of North Scott Eldridge has won the match at 106 pounds. And Joe Kanoki and Colin Korporich are going to wrestle here at 106 pounds for the right to go to the district championship this afternoon. Joe's very nice season, 27-8, and the sophomore with the right to move on to the district championship here, David.
Yep, and the other heavyweight match looks like it's Hofler, Epworth Western Dubuque, I think.
Yep, he is up 7-0, and that will be Austin Ashbacker's opponent. So here we go at 106, Joe Kanoki and Colin Korporich.
Both young men come in with almost even records. Korporich 34-7, Joe 27-8.
Just underway at 106 pounds.
Korporich, a junior. Joe, a sophomore.
In the duel in Decorah, Kanoki beat Korporich by a 4-3 margin.
That's why we got the second seed. Head to head.
And Hofler has won at heavyweight, so he will be Austin Ashbacker's opponent. So, Kanoki and Korporich scoreless on a restart with 1:20 left here in the period. The winner of this will get Jacob Shipper of North Scott Eldridge, who won the other semifinal at 106. Not a lot of action yet at 106.
Yeah, both of them working for hand control. Head to head, pretty cautious. Korporich with a collar tie now. Korporich on a shot. Go out of bounds.
285 pounds. Your quarterfinal match is going to be Dylan Hinkler from Western Dubuque. Hinkler wins big decision, 7-3.
Korporich working on hand control. He's trying to rush and tie. They go out of bounds.
These two wrestlers again wrestled in Decorah on the 18th of January, and Kanoki won 4-3 that time. 35 seconds left in the period as Kanoki in on a shot, but Korporich got the leg back quickly.
It was actually too far away, but Joe had the leg, didn't keep it. Oh.
20 seconds left here in the period.
You know, little things like that. I see he was in on the leg and he had it, but he just couldn't keep it. Korporich pulled it back, and that could be the difference in the match. Let's see how it goes. Matches like this, the little things count. Korporich in on an underhook. Now Korporich chases us out of bounds looking for a body lock.
0.2 of a second left here in the period, so Coach Steve Francis is going to toss the coin.
Yeah, he's already did it. So,
and Joe will take down to start the second period scoreless here in the semifinals at 106.
Joe to his feet, working on hand control. Korporich locked in behind him. And we broke the hands, but Korporich locked it back up again. We got one hand behind us. Now we got to turn into that arm. We do. Korporich drops to a leg.
And Korporich hit for the stall warning for hanging on that leg too long. Minute 40 left here in the period. Here's Joe trying to stuff the head. He has the near side ankle. Korporich still with control of the leg of Kanoki. And Kanoki is going to get warded the escape as they go out of bounds with a minute 35 left here in the second period.
I can't see that stalling call there. Gosh, there's good action going. Anyway, we got it. That's okay. Might come into play later. They're back out head to head. Both boys pretty cautious. Trying to set something up here. Korporich got head control here. Collar tie. Now Corporich goes after a leg, but he's too far away. Joe blocks it with an underhook. They go out of bounds.
1:10 left here in the period. It was a good match between these two up in Decorah.
Yeah, anytime you get a 4-3 match, they had some action, and kids are pretty even. And they certainly look it. Joe out here working hand control. Joe's got the collar tie now. Now they break apart. Culprich after a leg. He had the leg, but it's crotch high, and Joe got his leg back, hip down, and broke it. They're back out center of the mat. Again, pretty good motion. Joe's keeping his feet moving. Good. Keep that up. They're head to head.
30 seconds left here in the period. It's a 1-0 lead. Joe had the choice. He took down to start the second period. And a stall warning on Kanoki now.
Yeah. Steve Francis, I guess, wants him to get going.
And Joe had his back to the match. Here is Corporich. In on a shot. 18 seconds left here in the period.
Good high cry, head outside, single, dump Joe to his seat, and come around to the 2. So
8 seconds left here in the period. A 2-1 lead now for Corporich. As Joe trying to turn into him and get out here. He gets to his feet, but he runs out of time here in the second period, and Corporich leads 2-1, and he'll go down to start the third.
He had the hands broke. That was awful close, but he just didn't get out and break contact.
A 2-1 lead for Corporich. He's down to start the third period. Grabs the left leg of Joe Kanoki. Joe has that near ankle.
Yeah. This situation, you kind of wonder when you need to give him 1, not 2. And if you had maybe just about as well cut him, because I don't think he's going to turn. Joe's going to turn this kid, although he's working the cross-face cradle right now. He's trying to drive the head to the leg, but he's not even close.
1:30 left here in the period. Corporich leading by a 2-1 margin. Got a late takedown in the second period after Joe got an escape from the down position. Joe working the far side cradle, and now Coach Kittleson and Coach Friedhoff are telling him to cut him, but he's still working that far side cradle with a 1:10 left here in the period. And now Joe's going to let him go. Corporich gets the escape. It's 3-1.
Yeah, we have to have a takedown one way or another, because we're not going to turn him. Now we're in pretty deep on a single. Here we go. Now we cut across, and we got it. That tied the matchup.
3-3 the score with 52 seconds left in the period. They go out of bounds with 51.4.
They'll cut him again.
The optional start before you even go here. Yeah, that's what they're going to do.
Yep.
So they're going to let Corporich up.
3-3. Now both boys got to get it. Joe's in on a leg. He's in deep. It changes to a double. Corporich, nice job.
It should be 4-3 Corporich.
4-3 Corporich, yeah. 4-3 Corporich.
Corporich has been warned for stalling, as has Kanoki, as Joe tries to continue to drive here. 30 seconds left here in the period.
We're caught on our hands and knees in that double underhook. Corporich got front headlock and an underhook.
20 seconds left here in the period. 20 seconds left.
We got to get some action going. Corporich is really just hanging on, trying to kill time. 19 seconds to go.
19 seconds left here in the period.
We got to get after it. The referee won't call stalling here unless we give him a reason to. There, we're in deep on the leg. We got it. We're in deep. We take him backwards. We got him on the mat.
9 seconds left in the period.
We come across. We're across. We should have him here. We're over the leg. We stepped over the leg. Francis, we're over the leg.
And they're going to give Corporich the victory, 4-3. Ryan Kittleson arguing the call.
That's terrible. That's terrible. We were over the leg, and we didn't. Generally, referees have a reason for giving a lot of their points, and a lot of the time the reason is, did the guy get over the leg, and we were over the leg.
Coach Kittleson arguing the call. Coach Friedhoff there to talk with Francis as well, and it's a 4-3 win for Corporich.
They can talk all they want, but...
And now you just got to root for Corporich to get the... you got to take care of business in the third place match over Kruthis of Clinton, and you got to root for Corporich to win his match.
Yeah.
So... Corporate improves to 36-7. Kanoke drops to 28-9 on the season. Well, it was 4-3 in one match, and it was 4-3 in the other match.
Yeah.
Two pretty evenly matched kids there.
Yeah, very much so. And I'll give Corporate's credit. Corporate's was kind of hanging on over the top there, but when we come around and step over that leg, that's usually the reason the official give the 2. So out here at 120.
And so, Kanoke probably will be the favorite in his match against Sam Cruthis of Clinton in the semifinals. Cruthis came in with a 10-21 record, but another sophomore. And
we've got Devin Stortz out here at the 120-pound match in period 3 behind 7-0 behind Reese Howder from Dubuque Hempstead.
Howder, the top seed, but this is probably the bracket that is the weakest of the day when the top seed is 21-13.
Yeah, 13 losses. That's a lot of losses for number 1 seed.
But when you're facing a top seed in a semifinal like this, if you can take care of business in the third place match, you're not sitting in a horrible spot right now.
No, you're not.
Seven to 1 as Dustin able to get out with 18 seconds left here in the period. Howder of Dubuque, Hempstead, the junior, Stortz,
this situation where the second seed is 16-10. So all we have to do is win our third place match and have this kid win first. And we can wrestle back to second. And that's the match, 7-1.
And Howder will move on at 120 pounds, and Stortz will move on to the third place match here this afternoon. But to this point in the day, only one Decorah Viking has been stuck all afternoon. Of a day where there's been a lot of falls.
Yeah, we showed some good fight. And we got to keep it up. One match is not enough.
120 match going on right now. Bailey Thurm of Western Dubuque and Ryan Renken of North Scott. The loser of that will be Devin's opponent.
This is kind of a strange seed. Riley Rankin 16-10, and he's the second seed, whereas Bailey Thurm 25-16 is the third seed. But they must have met during the year with Rankin coming out the winner.
And that's the thing, when you're facing schools that you're unfamiliar with, stuff for us to judge the seeds where we're sitting in our end of things. I know you keep track of results as good as anybody I know, but still, it's one of those things. How do you handle that from a seeding perspective when you've only, like Decorah has only faced 2 of these teams earlier this year?
Yeah, it makes it really hard. Coaches look at common opponents' records. Rankin, North Scott, and Western Dubuque, they might have met. And or they might have had some common opponents over here in Eastern Iowa, and apparently Rankin was the winner, and then either head-to-head or common opponents. And otherwise, surely a 25-16 record would have got the second seed.
41.7 seconds left in that period. So let's the next Decorah Viking that will be on the mat will be Dirk Clark. He will take on Dane Jansen of Epworth Western Dubuque, and I haven't heard a non-deck call for that one yet. That's in the semifinals at 126. And I'll look up here if that was a rematch from the duel. I believe it was. Western Dubuque, one of those teams that has been at the Decorah Duels tournament since the onset of that tournament, and always provides good competition. Coach Tom Danner has had a very good program here for quite a few years. He is now retired, but he, like most wrestling coaches, remains pretty active in the sport.
Yeah, great guy. Writes a neat column for The Predicament.
And looking at that Clark and Ganson matchup, Ganson defeated Clark in the duel in Decorah by a 6-0 margin. But Dirk's first matchup, the kid out of Western Dubuque, Ian Hurst, majored him over at the Flanagan. So,
yep.
Can you turn around two previous season losses here today?
You can turn around one, and you can turn around two.
Yeah. 1:45 left in the period here. We gave you all the first round results. Let's try to get a couple of updates. The results at 106, we have told you those. Jacob Schipper for North Scott moving on for the victory over Cruthis from Clinton, and Corporate of Western Dubuque with a 4-3 win over Joe Kanoki of Decorah. So Kanoki's chance right now is he needs to win his third place bout and hope Corporich defeats Shippers. When you look at that matchup, Corporich is 36-7, and Shipper, North Scott, will come in with a 38-12 record. Shipper, just a freshman, Corporich junior, so we'll see what happens in that end of things, and all Joe can do is take care of business in his third place match. When you end up losing, you're putting your fate in other people's hands.
That's right.
As we're glad you're with us for our webcast here this afternoon of the 3A district meet here at Epworth Western Dubuque. Darren Swenson and Dave Omdahl on the call. We've done this a few times this year. Awfully nice having a partner instead of talking 8 hours to yourself, like I did with the Flanagan this year, as well as the Southwind Wrestling Invitational. Just looking for maybe different ways to promote the good sport of wrestling.
Well, we sure appreciate that, Darren. Do a great job. It's a lot of fun to work with you. Besides, I get in free.
Yeah, exactly. Price is right.
Hey, that, yeah.
As long as you don't have to take too much Dramamine for the twists and turns of Highway 52 in Northeast Iowa.
No.
At 113 pounds, it was Chase Lynn of Dubuque Senior moving on to the finals. And the other matchup going on right now, Jacob Lamonta of Davenport Central and Nathan Feldman of Dubuque Hempstead. Lamonta leading right now by a 4-2 margin at 113 pounds. Decorah not having a wrestler at 113. They don't have a wrestler at 170 or at 182 throughout the day either today. Just, I know you always want to have the full 14 in the lineup, but the kids that you would have put there today, frankly, just aren't ready for varsity wrestling. And sometimes when you put them in situations they're not ready for, it does them more harm than good.
No good comes out of it. There's certain situations, a conference tournament, maybe a Cresco tournament, where you might see 4 or 5 kids in an 8-man bracket.
Yep.
And so maybe a young man that isn't ready to wrestle can take his lumps first round and then go down the back side of the bracket and score you some team points, which could bring you home a trophy. This tournament here, they say it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
There's no point in having them wailed on. I've always thought that we always talk as coaches that kids have to learn how to win. But kids can also learn how to lose.
Yep.
And you just don't need to go there.
Jacob Lamonta at 113 pounds with a 4-2 victory over at 120 pounds.
That's a little bit of an upset.
That's a 3 beating a 2 there.
But again, sometimes that isn't much. There's much difference there.
But your 3 seed's a senior and your 2 seed's a freshman too.
That's true.
So that was probably one of those flip a coin situation. My guess, Dubuque Hempstead might have had a head-to-head win, so they got the seed. But Corporich, Kanoki got the head-to-head win over Corporich, and that's the reason he got that.
Yep.
So in the first 2 weight classes, we've had 2-3 seeds move on.
Yeah. Well, again, like I said earlier at the beginning of the broadcast, coaches don't argue too hard generally over a second and third seed, because the kids you face are going to be 6th and 7th seeds, so you should get out here to the semis anyway.
Bailey Thurm with a 1-0, I believe, deficit to Ryan Renkin of North Scott. They're at 126 pounds. 8 seconds left here in the period. And Thurm of Western Dubuque is going to move on to the semifinals. Or to the finals, I should say. Western Dubuque with another 3 seed moving on here at 120. 1-0 victory over Ryan Renkin of North Scott Eldridge. Renkin will be 17-11. Storts will be 19-19 when they meet for third place. And on that same mat, here we go at 126. Dane Ganson of Western Dubuque. He defeated Dirk Clark in the duel by a 6-0 margin. Clark with another opportunity here. Ganson right in on the head of Clark off the whistle. But Clark able to get away. 7 seconds in, no score. Here's Ganson getting to a leg. He has Dirk fully up in the air right now. Dirk trying to reach back and grab that head. And the takedown is awarded right in front of the Western Dubuque coaches on the far side.
And that was not a takedown. You got to have both supporting legs of one wrestler in bounds to be in bounds. There was one leg of each wrestler out of bounds. So that should have been whistled out of bounds. So the match score should be 0-0, but it's 2-0.
And Clark now trailing by a 2-0 margin. The other matchup is Hunter Genko of Clinton and Austin and Colin Alkin of North Scott Eldridge here this afternoon. Riding pretty tough there is Ganson. 1:13 left here in the period. Western Dubuque trying to get another wrestler into the finals here this afternoon. But of course, Carolina District Saturday, they wrestle to a true third place. So just because you're in the finals doesn't mean you're going to Des Moines yet.
No.
Clark still in that down position. 35 seconds left here in the period. A 2-0 lead for Ganson. He got a takedown 15 seconds in. As Genko of Clinton has won the other semifinal match. So Connor Alkin of North Scott Eldridge with a 25-20 or 26-23 record now will be the opponent for the loser of this matchup. 30 seconds left, 2 seconds left, and the first period will come to a close with Ganson leading by a 2-0 margin after that takedown. It wasn't a lot of action for either side. Clark's choice, he will defer. Going down will be Ganson. Clark was a 6 seed. He pinned the 3 seed Ian Hurst of Dubuque Hempstead in the first round as Ganson goes quickly to his feet, gets hand control, turns and faces, and gets the escape to make it a 3-0 lead on Dirk Clark. Dirk.
Deep shot, but he misses the legs.
And circling around is Ganson to get the takedown to make it a 5-0 advantage. 1:40 left here in the second period.
Oh, he had a nice deep shot, but we've got to grab something. And we just missed the legs completely.
The wrestling equivalent of a swing and a miss right there.
Yeah, that's about right. Yeah, Ganson on top now, trying to get a crossface. Clark doing a good job of keeping his arms free. Clark starts to come up. He's got hand control now. Turns and faces him. Nice stand-up. Good technique.
5-1 the score. Ganson right in on that leg. Clark now stuffing the head.
We got a headlock. Now we got to keep it. He tries to shuck him by, but we didn't clear the arm. Ganson came up with the arm. Now we're in on a nice deep high crotch. We kind of gave that up, went to a half. Now we got him to his back.
And he's on his back.
We took him down to his back.
Derek Clark has Ganson on his back right now. It'll be at least a 5-point move. That's Derek Clark.
He's got the
wins.
ball.
Derek Clark with a win at 126 pounds. The 6th seed with a couple of falls here today.
And he went after it. That's the key.
And he is moving on to the finals here this afternoon.
He went after it. That was good to see.
Derek Clark, in his final opportunity to head to a state tournament, gets a fall in 3:13 over the 2-seed Ganson. He's beaten the 3-seed and the 2-seed, and he will face Hunter Genko of Clinton a little later on. And right up on the same mat is Kellen O'Shea taking on Riley Chapman of Clinton. O'Shea got a 26-second fall in the first round of the tournament. O'Shea was in on a shot. Chapman has been able to
nice
the
ankle
head.
pick. Nice ankle pick. Chapman had a front head, but Kellen picked up an ankle pick and a nice takedown. Now Kellen's going after an arm bar. Kellen is really tough on top. He's looking for the arms. And I've liked this. He's not riding him. He's dominating him. He's going out for the fall. And he needs to keep it up, but he lets Chapman up, and apparently he feels comfortable going for a takedown. Oh, he went after a leg, couldn't find anything. And Chapman come up right behind him, but didn't take him back to the mat and until they went out of bounds. So Kellen kind of dodged a bullet on that one. Back in the middle of the mat. Kellen's shot's too far away. He's got to set something up. Now he's in deep on a double. He's got his head out the side. He's got Chapman back on his butt. Chapman,
if he can stuff the head there, he can get the takedown, and he has it in a 4-1 lead for Kellen O'Shea with 1 minute left here in period number 1.
Now O'Shea's going for a tilt. He's got the cross eye. He's got the ball and chain tilt here. And now he's going to move up, and he's got Chapman on his back, and he's come up into a half. He's got the near leg raise, and he's got a half in. Not too deep, though. I can see the elbow sticking out. Not chest to chest, but he's still got the fall.
And Kellen O'Shea onto the finals for Decorah, as Kellen O'Shea picks up a fall in 1:26 over Riley Chapman of Clinton. So O'Shea will move on to the finals, and he will face the winner of Austin Hush and Matt Hesselman of Dubuque Senior. Right now, Hush with a 4-1 lead. He's the 6th-ranked kid from Western Dubuque. He beat O'Shea in the matchup in Decorah, and he's only lost once all year. And he leads 4-1 right now. So Decorah has put 2 wrestlers in the finals. Dirk Clark at 126, Kellen O'Shea at 132. One of them, no surprise. One of them, a big surprise.
Coming out of you don't see many kids coming out of the 6th seed in the district and get to the finals, but that's just all to the credit of Dirk Clark.
Yep.
He went after it. He went after it. He got it. It's a good lesson for a lot of kids. And I've always told wrestlers that, you go out there and stand around, something's going to happen, and it'll probably happen to you.
Yep.
But if you decide to make it happen, then you can put it on the other guy. And Clark certainly did that.
And sometimes, when you hit that senior year and you've never gotten that chance to wrestle down at the bank in Des Moines and wrestle at the state tournament, sometimes that sense of urgency hits you, and I think it's hit Dirk Clark today.
It sure looked like it from up here. He really, like I say, Dirk Clark did a wonderful job there, both matches.
So,
to beat the 3rd seed and 2nd seed.
And the next Decorah wrestler that will be on the mat this afternoon will be Cody Rittner at 152 pounds. So Dirk Clark has moved on at 126 pounds. Joe Knoke loses 4-3 in his match to Colin Korporich of Western Dubuque. Wrestler he beat 4-3 in the duel up in Decorah. So Knoke will have to hope Korporich can win his wrestle back, and he needs to take care of his business himself for a chance to wrestle for the true second place here later on this afternoon. So Decorah has put 2 wrestlers in the finals, but as we talked about it, and longtime wrestling fans definitely know, just because you're in the finals of a district meet doesn't mean you're heading to Des Moines yet.
Nope, nothing automatic.
So, and over there at 132 pounds, it was Hush of Western Dubuque winning his match. So it'll be a Hush O'Shea matchup at 132 pounds.
The way O'Shea is wrestling, I think he sure looked a lot better than Hush did. Hush, I wouldn't say really struggled in the last match, but he certainly didn't look very terribly impressive.
And of course, Kellen's been away from competition for a while. I think his last match probably, I want to say was probably the Decorah Duels. And he's been out with that knee injury. And talk about the balance from a coaching perspective, Dave. What's the right amount of balance of getting some good competition in or getting some good drills, practice, what have you, in a time like that as compared to just making sure you're as healthy as you can be here the second Saturday in February?
From a coach's standpoint, I'd like to see him out on the mat wrestling. However, when it comes to out here on the mat today, it's all within the young man's heart. If he really gets going and takes it to the other guy and doesn't ride him thing we've had several of our Decorah wrestlers done so well is on top. We haven't been worried about riding them. We've kept the other kid worried about getting pinned, and that's a good way to be on top. And we've always been the aggressor on our feet. We're really wrestling hard, and that's what it'll take to win. Whether you've been on the mat or off the mat, doesn't matter anymore, really. But from a coach's standpoint, I'd rather see him out wrestling.
Well, you're a little more old school than a lot of guys, though,
wow.
David.
You know, when you sit around and don't practice, you lose your timing. It takes a little while to get into it. I like to see him wrestling, but doesn't look like the rest has hurt Kellen one bit.
Again, the next Decorah Viking that will be up will be Cody Rittner at 152 pounds here this afternoon. So again, we'll have some updates on our on the radio after Iowa basketball gets done at 2 o'clock this afternoon. But we have our live webcast throughout the day here at www.kdecradio.net. So if you got anybody that's from a long distance away, this webcast thing, when it comes to wrestling, probably one of the best things that's ever happened to this sport. You and I, Dave, did the Luther Loris duel last night. We were getting emails from all over, and it's just remarkable. I mean, I've been in this business 20 years. To think that you can take the action happening in Decorah, Iowa last night, or Western Dubuque High School today, and anybody on the planet with an internet connection can listen to it. It's one of the best things that's happened to high school sports. It's one of the best things that has happened to...
Yeah, just a couple of years ago when Decorah football was in the playoffs and the finals, we watched it from Trondheim, Norway.
Yeah.
And had to kind of stay up pretty late in the morning, but
well, it was well worth the wait too.
Yeah. So, but that was really great. We could actually sit there in our apartment there in Trondheim and listen to or watch actually watch the football playoffs. So
a little bit of controversy over here on mat number 2, and I saw I think. One of the Clinton coaches ran across the mat during the course of the mat, which usually you're not allowed to do. But
nah.
But I mean, I understand giving people a little leeway and everything like that when it comes to a district situation. But
there's other ways of getting the attention necessary than
there's no question that the coaches can approach the head table and ask for a conference with the official. We actually got clarified this year a little bit from the Athletic Association that they can ask the official for clarification. The thing that you can't do is question his judgment.
Yeah. And I know you've had some great stories of your coaching over the years with guys that are. How you balance that line between fighting for your kid and not questioning the official's judgment. It's all about the use of your vocabulary. It's all about the use of your semantics, everything like that. Care to share a couple of those stories as long as we got some downtime here, David?
You don't want to run out there and tell him he's blind as a bat. Or he doesn't have any idea what he's doing. You just tell him you would never think a question is his judgment, but what's the reason for the call? Or why didn't we get this score? Things like that. Yeah. I haven't got him to change them much, but I did get one down at the Starmont tournament, and a young man from Decorah was taken down, and he come right into the chairs, and the referee whistles and says both up. While the Marion coach is sitting over on the other side, and he pointed to our opponent's feet, and they were in bounds. And he said, look at the feet, they're in bounds, and the official says, oh, takedown 2. So I go over to the head table, and I come over, and the official comes over and, of course, says, you're not questioning my judgment, are you? I said, well, of course not. I never question your judgment. But I just wanted to know who was the ref in the match. You or the Marion coach? And he changed it. No takedown.
Well,
and just looking for a little clarification.
You got to have that right type of clarification at the right time.
That's right.
Everything like that.
Don't get them to change their calls many times, but I happened to get one that time. But I mean, they were into the chair when the takedown. And a lot of times the referee will blow the whistle because of that, and he did, and maybe it was a little premature whistle, but it was a whistle nonetheless.
Yep.
So.
Well,
don't get many. Get one once in a while.
And blind squirrels find nuts every now and then, too, right?
That's true. But again, I'm sure if I just jumped up and down, hollered, and screamed, probably wouldn't have got it changed. But I made him feel bad.
I see see a few people from around. Former Luther College wrestler Louis Fisher, one of the coaches at Dubuque Senior, here today. Also Dan Claviter, a Luther College wrestling alumni. He's coaching here today as well. Good to see people in the wrestling world. Even though these are unfamiliar schools, we get to see some familiar people around here. So,
yeah, between Decorah High School and Luther, we've had a lot of good wrestlers move through.
Of course, we talked about it on our webcast last night. Just a really great time of year to be a wrestling fan. We got the state tournament coming up next week. We have college getting into the meat of their schedule. Not too far away from here. 2 weeks from today, I'll be over at the Five Flags Center. Okay, I just heard a call for a Folkadol, and I see Isaiah Mitchell is down here to our right on the backside of the bracket. Isaiah Mitchell is up on the backside of the bracket, taking on Bernie Ruiz of Davenport Central. And out of bounds they go. 1:42 left here in the period. Isaiah Mitchell and Ruiz are scoreless. And the reason for these matches are basically, are you going to place at districts or aren't you?
Yeah, you lose this match and there is no place. You win this match, you got a chance to go fifth. Ruiz hit on the leg. We're trying to put a cradle on. I think he'd be better off if he fought the leg away. But You got to get that leg away and get the hip down. This is bad form here to try a cradle. Now Ruiz has put a half in over the head.
And now he's got Isaiah on his back. 1:13 left here in the period.
Yeah, this is a kid Isaiah I think should beat, but he made a bad mistake there not taking the leg away. Now he fought back to his base. He got 3 near fall. Ruiz got 3 near fall.
And Ruiz with a 5-0 lead here at 138 pounds. The winner moves out of the 5th place match. The loser basically is done for the day. And granted, when you lose those first round matches here in the 3A district end of things, it's not as bad as losing at sectionals on the 2A end of things with 6 wrestlers. You basically wrestle at noon and then you wrestle at basically 5 o'clock again. Now you can pretty much have a normal rest as it's 5-0 Ruiz leading Mitchell with 35 seconds left here in the period.
And Isaiah, he's in after a leg again. He's got it, but he doesn't move up with it. He's just got the leg and hangs on. And now Ruiz has got him broke down flat. I think what we're seeing, Ruiz has a terrible record, 4-13, but Ruiz is a senior. And we gave him that 5 simply because we thought we could block a leg shot with a cradle. And the order of things is you take the leg away first, and then you get after stuff. There's a right way to do things, and Isaiah just hasn't quite figured that out.
And a 5-1 advantage for Ruiz as we go to the second period. At 138 pounds, backside of the bracket, Ruiz will defer his choice. And Isaiah tried to defer as well, but unfortunately it doesn't work that way.
Yeah, coach has got to be aware and give him an idea. He's going down. Ruiz on the ankle, breaks him flat. Nice move. Almost moved to a sit position. I think he probably should have. Ruiz is controlling an arm here now on the far side.
Again, Decorah has qualified Dirk Clark and Kellen O'Shea to the finals as of this time. Joe Kanoki will be wrestling for 3rd at 106. Those are the wrestlers that have qualified here for the finals at this point. Of course, if you don't, just because you're in the finals doesn't mean you're going to be qualified for Des Moines. 1:15 left in the period. Ruiz is still riding Isaiah pretty tough, has a leg in. Isaiah controlling the one arm of Isaiah, now controlling the other, trying to hook something up. The leg now out from Ruiz.
Isaiah's coming in behind. He got under the arm. Now he's coming around. He's going to get at least 1 now as they go out of bounds. That's what he's got, 1.
And escape for Isaiah Mitchell to make it a 5-2 advantage for Ruiz as we go with 53.9 to wrestle here in the second period.
Well, Isaiah can wrestle with this kid. He just can't make the mistakes he's made. Ruiz in on a shot. He's got himself extended. Now Isaiah's got to get that arm off the leg and then move around. There, he's got it. He's coming. Now he's got to keep coming hard with that headlock and then shuck to the other side. Ruiz comes over the top with his arm and comes behind. We just didn't use the front headlock like we need to.
And 7-2 lead now for Ruiz with 25 seconds left here in the period. Well, and again, I think now Ruiz...
he tried a cradle, but he slipped off going out of bounds with 16 seconds left to make the score 7-3. We're not out of it yet. We're behind by 4, but
And Isaiah will get Ruiz will get his choice to start the third period.
Doesn't matter. I think we're better on top, and Ruiz will probably take down. We'll see.
Isaiah was very good on top against Duxini of Dubuque Hempstead. Here is Ruiz in on a double leg, but it was a little too late. As Ruiz will go neutral to start the third period. Probably not a bad call on his part.
No, it's a good call on his part. I guess I didn't give him enough credit. But, good call on his part.
1:51 left here in the period.
Ruiz makes a shot, but we're in on a seatbelt, but we couldn't pull his head down hard enough. It's just not quite strong enough. Ruiz is Got a headlock now. We've got a leg in, though. Now we need to snake our butt up on top. We got the leg in. Ruiz has the headlock. We got the... Now he's getting back points, so he'll have to take that. Ruiz is...
1:25 left here in the period.
Ruiz has his back is actually toward Isaiah, but his...
and there's the fall.
He pushes back into him and gets the fall.
Ruiz gets the fall at 138 pounds, so a 4-minute and 39-second fall here this afternoon.
I see a lot of good things out of Isaiah. He's got to keep at it and get a little stronger and stop making those freshman mistakes.
Well, and just talk about that aspect of the strength end of things. As Drake Folkedahl is now up on 145 pounds, taking on Jacob Houghton of Davenport Central. Folkedahl still looking for his first win of the season on the varsity here. So again, this is a situation, you win it, you can wrestle one more time this season, and if you lose it, you can hit the showers. And Decorah, on the front side of the bracket, Joe Kanoki will wrestle for third. Dirk Clark is in the final. Devin Stortz will wrestle for third at 120. Dirk Clark in the finals at 126, and Kellen O'Shea in the finals at 132. And we're underway here at 145 on the backside. Houghton of Davenport Central in immediately on a leg of Folkedahl. And he switches off to a double. He gets the takedown, goes right after that half. Doesn't get it.
Had a leg caught. Couldn't get out to the side. He's working on the other side.
1:40 left here in the period. Houghton, the junior from Davenport Central. A lot of red and blue on the singlets there. Davenport Central, the Blue Devils. Out of that always tough MAC conference. And here's a little bit of a guillotine move.
He's got the arm up over the head here. Now he's got a half in the wrist.
And Drake is on his back. 1:08 left here in the period. We're on the backside of the bracket here at 1:45.
Drake tries to roll him through, but when he tries to roll him through, his shoulders go down, and so we've got a win for Jacob Houghton from Davenport Central.
And Drake Folkedahl is done for the day at 1:45. So we are at 152 on one mat, and we're at 145 on the other mat when it comes to the championship end of things. So all in all, things moving by pretty well here in the first hour 45 of this district meet. If 152 is up, that means Cody Rittner likely on deck at 152. He is taking on Dustin Caldwell, the 9th-ranked kid out of Clinton.
We had a lot of falls that first round. That makes a lot of difference in the...
Yep. And falls. I think Cody's going to be up on mat number 2 right now.
He is. Yep.
Rittner trying to become the third Viking to get to the finals, but he's probably an underdog here, as Caldwell is the 2 seed and Rittner is the number 3 seed. Rittner with an injured hand taped up, that left hand. Caldwell at 30-8, Rittner at 26-14. And Evan Ganson of Epworth Western Dubuque is on the top side of this bracket, ranked number 8. This is one of 4 weight classes today with multiple ranked kids there. There's the Clinton wrestler Caldwell getting to a leg. Cody trying to spin through, and they go out of bounds.
And Coach Adams pointed out to the official that toe was out of bounds, and it was.
And a little bit of blood for Cody Rittner, blood time with 1:36 left here in the first period. But Mr. Neighbors said, didn't say who's reffing this match, me or you.
Yeah.
1:46 left here in the period.
Bill's been at it a long time, Bill Neighbor. He's
good guy.
Good guy. Pretty good official, pretty steady. Not spectacular, but steady.
1:36 left here in the period as
No score, Rittner and Caldwell of Clinton. And Ganson has won the other matchup. Dylan Ganson for Epworth Western Dubuque has moved on, so Kramer will face the loser of this match, and Ganson will face the winner of this match. They're at 152 pounds. Here is Caldwell in on a shot, circles around, gets the takedown, 2-0 Caldwell. With a minute 12 left here in the period, and the scoreboard says 4-0. That can't be right. There it goes, 4-0, 2-0.
And more blood time. And a little bloody nose here.
Minute 11 left here in the period. 2-0 as they cut the blood time after it's clotted.
Yeah, cleanup doesn't count.
2-0 the score. Rittner trailing here at 152 pounds. Tough to judge if Rittner falls in this match, how good or bad of a position he's in if he can take care of business in the third place match. You got a 9th-ranked kid and an 8th-ranked kid in the title bout, so that one's kind of a toss-up right there.
Yeah. It's Rittner's just got to win his match, and then the championship match will have to fall where it falls.
And Rittner turning and spinning. Caldwell still with control of the head.
Rittner, nice shuck there. Comes up to face him. He should get his one here, and he does. He's out.
1 minute left here in the period as they go out of bounds. 55 seconds left here in the period. A 2-1 lead for Dustin Caldwell of Clinton.
And Rittner's wrestling pretty tough.
Cody Rittner trying to become the third Decorah Vikings in the finals to join Dirk Clark and Kellen O'Shea to this point. Storts and Kanoki will wrestle for third a little later on this afternoon. 50 seconds left here in the period. A lot of action from Caldwell here. Is Caldwell able to control the head of Rittner?
Around, ties up a leg, but he's got a headlock on Cody now. Doesn't have any points yet. No points. Cody's got to pop his head out, and he does. And he's on top for 2.
Cody Rittner with a 3-2 lead. And more blood time for Rittner here with 30 seconds left here in the period. Rittner trying to become the third Viking, as we mentioned, to get to the finals here this afternoon. This is one of those 3-2 matchups. And so far, the 3 seeds have gotten the best of the 2 seeds to this point. But you know what? That's history. This match is mutually exclusive of what has happened to this point.
Every match is a new match.
30 seconds left here in the period as the blood gets clotted and cleaned up.
But I like the way Cody's battled, though. He's fought for position.
Caldwell is in the down position right now. Caldwell quickly to his feet off the whistle, turns and faces, gets the escape, and it's 3-3 with 20 seconds left here in the period.
Both boys forehead to forehead. A little slide by tried by Caldwell.
11.9 left here in the period. 3-3 the score, and that's a big-time caution on Caldwell, probably one of the most obvious ones you'll see. Neighbors was still standing in between them.
Well, see, they was a kid. I think it's one of the Davenport schools.
Here's Cody. He was circling around, didn't have control on the mat, though, as Caldwell got back to his feet pretty quickly as Cody got down on that ankle, and it's going to be 3-3 as the period comes to a close.
That would have been a reversal if they started down, but on the takedown, you got to take them down to the mat.
And Cody's choice, he will start down to start the second period. A 3-3 score between Caldwell and Rittner. Caldwell trying to split the legs there. And here is
you got Rittner in a cradle, but it's not very tight. Rittner can squirm out of it here. If he can get the hands from now, it goes back to his belly, no points. Nice job of getting right on the hands.
And fortunately for Decorah, Neighbors was a little slow on the back count there. I thought there could have been some back points.
Could have maybe been two.
And here's some more blood time with a minute 34 left here in the second period. 3-3 the score. And now the blood time is actually on Caldwell, as he's got a pretty good gash on the left side.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Yeah, it's Caldwell. We mentioned earlier about that caution on the standing start and Neighbor being in between them. That rule came into effect after a young man, I think it was from Davenport, somewhere in Davenport, one of the heavyweight, and he would make it a practice of lunging ahead of the whistle and putting his shoulder into the opponent's knee. And he did that with regularity. And unfortunately, there's no penalty for it. So, in fact, downstate Germany tore up a Scarborough from Waterloo Columbus, tore his knee up with that tactic.
Yeah.
And so the officials, one of the smarter things that the organization did, the rules makers did, instead of, this question whether that should be an illegal move or a technical violation or whatever, they simply instructed the officials to get between them on the whistle. And that has taken care of it.
And
we really don't have it anymore.
And was that a change that came down from the state association, or was that a national federation?
That was a national federation change, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a national federation change, but I'm sure it was prompted.
Yeah.
Because actually before, all it was a caution, and so you do it. Oh, the other kid can't wrestle.
Yeah.
You win.
Yeah.
That's.
The term Bush League comes to mind.
Yes. Yeah, well, it is, really.
3-3 the score as the Caldwell now with a wrap around his head. He got a pretty good gash from a collision with Rittner as he tried to cradle him up. 3-3 the score. Cody will start down with 1:34 left here in the period. Yeah. There was no change at all, and there were no points.
No points, no change, no points. It's like starting the period over again with about 30 seconds less.
3-3 the score. Cody able to get to his feet, turns faces, gets the escape, takes a 4-3 lead with 1:28 left here in the period.
And again, Caldwell tried that strict cradle, and remember a flying cradle, and there was Cody just good job on hand control, came out of it. Now they're up on the nice slide by, tried by Caldwell. Didn't work. They're out of bounds.
113 left here in the period. Alec Felschul is the next Viking that will be on deck. There's the 1-160 match is going on right now, and that's the North Scott kid Ferenkrug with a 14-1 lead with 20 seconds left here in the period. That's on Jacob Birds of Western Dubuque. Felschul is the number 2 seed as there's more blood time now on 152 with Caldwell. 1:13 left here in the second period in the semis here at 152. Rittner with a 4-3 lead on Dustin Caldwell of Clinton. Packed house as you would expect on a district Saturday here at Epworth Western Dubuque. Glad you're with us at KDECradio.net. And there is the North Scott wrestler at 60, moving on to the finals. Jacob Ferenkrug, 9th ranked wrestler in that weight class. And actually, Alec must be on deck on this mat, which Cody is. There's still more blood issues with Dustin Caldwell at 100 and.
Looks like they're putting house wrap on him now.
Yeah. Industrial strength sealant being used to stop the blood of Caldwell there. There was some blood time for Rittner earlier.
I don't know if it's maybe above the eye, but there's a bony projection there right above the eyebrow of the man. When that gets
that's
cut,
tough to stop.
Oh, that bleeds. Yeah, that bleeds bad. And they have 5 minutes of blood time, but that's bleeding, not cleanup.
And they have hit the cleanup stage here. So.
Yep. The referee gave the crossed arms indication to cut the time. So all in all, Decor has done about as well as could be expected. I don't think we had any big upsets.
Yep. By the way, just checking in from the district at New Hampton, finalists by team, Charles City has 6,
Independence with 5, Osage with 5, Crestwood, North Fayette, and Owine with 3, New Hampton, BCLUW, and Denver Trapolo with 1. That's in the finals at New Hampton here this afternoon. So, Charles City, from an individual standpoint, getting some revenge back from Independence. Independence beat them in the regional duels on Tuesday night, and then ended up beating West Delaware.
Oh, nice job. Cody's behind him, taking him to the mat. That's 2 points, and they call it out of bounds. You gotta be kidding me. We were completely on top of him.
1 minute left here in the period.
I tell you. Yeah, they were... Actually, both of them locked up on their feet, and when they went down, Cody landed right on top of him. I don't know why that wouldn't be a takedown, but we didn't get it.
It happens. You move on. 42 seconds left. Cody reaching for a shot. Caldwell still controlling the head of Rittner. Forehead-to-forehead tie with both men with 33 seconds left here in the period.
Yeah, big move there. That could have made this. That could have made the score.
It would have been at least 6-3. And you probably would have had some back points in a situation like that.
I'm not sure because we did go out of bounds, but goodness.
Here's a shot attempt by Caldwell. Cody able to stuff the head. 10 seconds left here in the period as they wrestle on the side of the mat. And Cody, being aggressive, they forces the action out of bounds with 6.7 left here in the period. 6.7 seconds left here in the second period. Rittner, when it was 3-3, got out here in this period, leads it 4-3. Caldwell's choice to start the third. And he will obviously go down.
See, if that takedown had been 6-3.
And we would have had to probably think a little bit more.
Yep.
Caldwell, the 2 seed, the number 9 ranked kid at 52. Caldwell quickly to his feet. Cody still with the hand control and a nice mat return by Rittner. Rittner tried to sneak up and get that half on the mat return and couldn't quite do it. 1:45 left here in the period. Caldwell on his knees now gets to his feet, escapes the grip of Rittner, and it's 4-4. 1:35 left here in the period. Good match here at 52.
Coach Friedoff cautioning him, keep the elbows in. Don't let the guy get inside your elbows. Caldwell working hand control now. He's riding the wrist. Both boys are head down on the mat.
1:22 left here in the period.
Cody looking like he'd try a front headlock. Caldwell looking like he'd try a short drag, but they're back to their feet now.
1:13 left here in the period. 4-4 the score between
on the edge of the mat. Going back to the middle now. Rittner's headgear came loose.
1:08 left in the period. We're tied at 4. Semifinals here at 1:52. One minute left, forehead-to-forehead tie. Caldwell controlling the right wrist of Rittner. Both men working ties on the opposite side now. The forehead-to-forehead tie continues with 48 seconds left here in the period.
Caldwell dancing away back to the center of the mat. Cody in pursuit. Cody's got wrists tied up. And a collar tie, one wrist and a collar.
33 seconds left here in the period, a 4-4 score.
Caldwell pushing away. Cody goes after
reaching for a shot.
Nice flurry there. Cody went for an ankle, missed it. Caldwell came back. Cody squared up. And they're sparring out in the middle of the mat. Caldwell, I guess, has hand control now. Cody's got a collar tie.
10 seconds left here in the period. We're tied at 4.
He's Caldwell back into the edge of the mat, backing off. Cody makes a shot.
3.8 seconds left here in the period. 4-4 the score here at 152 pounds. And
Caldwell makes a shot. Cody counters the front head, and time runs out.
So, free wrestling here at 152 pounds.
What a match. What a match.
Cody Rittner, the senior from Decorah. Dustin Caldwell, the senior from Clinton. Each wrestler with a takedown and 2 escapes to this point.
In on a knee is Caldwell. Caldwell stuffs the head, tries to circle around. Cody gets back to his feet. Caldwell's got the underhooks though. And out of bounds they go with 38 seconds left here in the period. A flurry of activity right there.
Kids are both wrestling hard. This will come down to position.
35 seconds left here in the period. Forehead to forehead tie. Cody reaches for the leg.
It's too far away. He shot from too far away, but he comes up around the waist to block it. Now he's on a leg. Caldwell's got the whizzer. We come up and face him. We're down on our hips, though, but we come back up. And Caldwell's got the front head.
17 seconds left here in the period.
Behind. Caldwell's got something locked up here. And we're sitting on the mat. He gets the 2 with 6 seconds left.
Caldwell gets the takedown with 6 seconds left. Heck of a match, heck of an effort from Cody Rittner, and Caldwell wins 6-4. Rittner now will move on to the third place match here this afternoon. He will take on Dylan Ganson of Epworth Western Dubuque, and no time to catch our breath. Or Cody will take on Kramer. Caldwell will take on Ganson. That's what
Kramer Dubuque.
You knew what I was talking
Kramer
about.
Dubuque Hempstead with a record 11-16 will be Cody's match.
Okay. And Cody has to root for Caldwell to win that match, but Ganson had a pretty easy time, and Caldwell had a pretty tough time because of Cody. Here we go, 160 semifinals. Carter Dock of Dubuque Hempstead and Alec Felstrel of Decorah. And a takedown for Felstrel right away.
Doc gets back to his feet, though, gets one. So Alec leads. Oh, nice throw. Alec tries to throw it. He's got him on his, he's buried. He's got him on his back. God, that's the slowest, my goodness, that's the slowest referee to get down I've ever seen. We had him so flat.
And he's still flat.
He looks flat. I can't see the other shoulder from here, but goodness.
And there's the fall.
There we go. Alec Felstrel.
Taking care of business in 37 seconds. Felstrel becoming the third finalist of the day for the Decorah Vikings at 160 pounds.
And with a fall.
And he will take on Jacob Ferenkrug of North Scott Eldridge in the finals here this afternoon. So Alec just one match away from winning 30 this season. He's had a very impressive season.
Very impressive season. Very impressive. And he's just a junior.
So the next match that we will have, Sean Truan will be wrestling in the back side of the bracket, as well as
Carter
Zidlicki, and then Austin Ashbacker will head to the front side of the bracket, and he will be wrestling a little later on this afternoon. That is the only finalist that Decorah has left on the front side of the bracket. So Austin trying to become the fourth finalist of the day, and your other two kids that two of your kids that lost in the finals, one lost by one lost by two in overtime right there. So I'd have to say, I mean, and you and I try to be as realistic as we can with the ability that these kids put on the mat. I think for the most part you've wrestled to your ability.
Oh yeah,
and probably a little bit of both.
We haven't had any big disappointments. Maybe Isaiah Mitchell in this last one because the kid he wrestled wasn't very good, but here again he just made some mistakes. And when you're wrestling somebody that's more powerful than you are, and senior, those will cost you. And it cost him.
Actually, Carter will get a bye at 220 pounds. I forgot about that. He's going to be wrestling for fifth, so
he's the fifth kid in the bracket.
At 95,
220,
or at 220, yep, he is. He's the fifth kid in the bracket, and there's 6 overall.
No,
so he will have a match.
He will have a match. Oh, okay.
So, trying to update these matches on my Twitter account as well. If you want to follow me, it's www.twitter.com/Darren Swenson, and you can get the Decorah semifinal results, and that's a good place to go for a lot of stuff that we'll be doing next week at the state wrestling tournament as well. Going to try to cover that as good as anybody. Get some thoughts from coaches. We're going to have on-the-air matches. And we're going to put a lot of the stuff we do on demand eventually as well. So you can go back and relive the 2014 state tournament. It all begins Thursday morning at Wells Fargo Arena in Des Moines. And you and I were talking about it on the way down for the first time ever. KCRG 9.2 is going to be televising the semifinals of the state wrestling tournament, and I think that's a great way to open people to a new brand of wrestling fans, because as most big time wrestling fans would know, the quarters and the semis are your best wrestling.
Yeah, especially the semis.
Just outstanding
particularly
wrestling.
The semis.
Yep.
Quarters can be two down at the state tournament. You got some awful good kids down there.
I think, I guess in my amateur wrestling opinion, because the quarters and the semis, that dream of getting to Saturday night is still there.
You bet.
And once you get to Saturday night,
already there.
You're already there, and it's almost enough of a relief that you might...
It works on some kids. It works on some kids' minds. And they do not perform in the finals as well as they should. And then other kids, it works the other way. Man, they're there, and they're all pumped, and they get out and get after it. So each kid is a little bit different.
Semifinals going to be televised this year, and that's going to be a real good thing. We'll get some results here momentarily. David?
That's okay. Just trying to keep the book up.
Trying to keep my social media up too, and trying to multitask.
You're doing a great job,
as well as I can. You can only ask a Norwegian to do 7 things at once, and he'll do 9 of them poorly.
Well, I'll tell you, it's you're doing a wonderful job. If it wasn't for the track wrestling and the like, I'd be completely lost, because we got 3 mats running and
one which Dave doesn't have a great view of.
One I can't even see. And then you got uniforms out here that I'm not familiar with, the Davenport schools, and then you also got coaches that I'm not terribly familiar with. Goodness sakes, so many of them have retired, but you got new guys.
Well, and Western Dubuque, a member of the WAMAC conference, and you spent 15 years in Independence and
in the WAMAC conference,
and Western Dubuque.
They weren't there.
Well, the WAMAC is probably the first super conference, even before college conferences started getting super conference. I think there's 18 people, 18 members overall, West and East, in the WAMAC conference now. So. Let's get some of those finalists that we did not get to here. That's 138 pounds. The finals matchup at 138 will be Andy Doherty of Epworth Western Dubuque, and he will take on Curtis Ilg of Clinton. Ilg with an 11-2 win over Jacob Duxini of Dubuque Hempstead, and Doherty with a 7-0 victory on his opponent Ridgway of North Scott Eldridge at 145 pounds here this afternoon. It is Alex Caldwell of Clinton. He wins 12-7 over Selby McNair of Davenport North, and it was also Blake Thurston of Dubuque Hempstead with a fall in 4:37 over Levi Hush of Western Dubuque. Another
upset.
Another 3-2 upset. We told you at 152, Caldwell of Clinton wins 6-4 over Cody Rittner of Decorah, and Dylan Ganson, the winner at 152 pounds. We told you at 160. Farron Krug of North Scott Eldridge will be in the finals to take on Alec Felstrel of Decorah with a 37-second fall over Carter Dock of Dubuque Hempstead. At 170, Dylan Chase from Clinton, top-ranked kid at 170, wins 6-0, and that's as updated as track wrestling has gotten to this point. So Dave Amdahl and his pencil are not quite running out of lead, and hopefully you won't until about 6 o'clock tonight, there, buddy.
Yeah, we'd like to last the tournament over anyway.
I've got a couple of spares in case you want to go a little further here.
Yeah, but those look like they're. Yeah.
And I think Sean's up here at 195, Dave. Sean taking on Jacob Wissing of Davenport North. We'll double check and see if that was a matchup at the Flanagan. Here's Sean and Wissing. Sean has 15-14 record. Nick Wissing, another senior from Dubuque Hempstead, he has a 14-7 record. Sean in on a leg. Wissing has control of Sean's head. They wrestle on the side of the mat here. 35 seconds left. Neither man.
Sean's got a good body lock there, but he doesn't have his hips in now. Wissing tries a headlock, and they break loose and come back to center.
1:18 left here in the period.
Nice slide by tried by Sean. Was tied up a little too tight to make it work. They're forehead to forehead right now.
Wissing won 5-4 in this matchup at the Flanagan.
Okay, so pretty even. Two boys who were probably 6th and 7th seeded. Yep. Wissing holding a Russian 2-on-1 tie. Now they come back out. Wissing's got now Sean's got a collar tie.
No score, 30 seconds left during the period. Only one more match in this round for Decorah. "17 seconds left here in the period. Forehead to forehead tie with both men. Three seconds left, 2 seconds left, 1 second left, and that's that. 0-0 as we go to the second period. Wissing will get the choice, and he will go down. As they are wrestling at 95 on the championship end of things. Here's Sean working off to the side from the top position.
Spiral ride in. Deep in the crotch, pulls his hips over. Wissing comes back to his knees. Sean's riding the near wrist really hard.
Again, if you win
pulls
this, you
over.
Wrestle for 5th. The loser is done for the day.
Sean got the arm up behind the back, holding it up there pretty tight. Wissing is pretty flat. Now Sean comes around the head. Now Sean takes him to his back. Come over the head. He's got at least a 1 count.
He let go of the other arm, so he got a 1 count, and he's getting another 1 count. Now he's starting to get consecutive counts. He has a leg hook. He's got the arm over the neck of Wissing.
He should pull that arm up, stick that elbow in his ear, and then he'd go over the shoulders. But he's out to the side. He got the arm trapped.
1 minute left here in the period. Sean has at least 3 back points, and there's the fall. Sean Truant can wrestle for 5th there this afternoon with a fall in 3:05 over Jordan Trout, or over Nick Wissing, rather, of Dubuque Hempstead. So Sean will get to wrestle one more match in his career as he gets the job done there.
That will be against Dan Toma from Dubuque Senior, kid with a 26-13 record. Pretty good record, but he was seeded 4th.
And I just did hear that Ashbacker's match has been called at 285 to mat number 1.
Oh, good. One we can see.
Yes.
Or I can see.
Well, the we was accurate in that statement, too, there, partner.
Yeah.
So far, this is a quick recap of the Decorah kids. Joe Kanoki will wrestle for third at 106. Decorah Open at 113. Devin Stortz will wrestle for third at 120. Dirk Clark at 125 is in the finals. Kellen O'Shea at 132 is in the finals. At 138, Isaiah Mitchell will not place. At 145, Decorah's Drake Folkedahl will not place. At 152 pounds, Cody Rittner will wrestle for third after losing a heartbreaker in the semifinals to Dustin Caldwell of Clinton in overtime. Alec Felschel in the finals at 160 for Decorah. And one more chance for a
finalist here.
Finalist with Austin Ashback. So Austin is on deck, and that previous match is in the first period here. So Dave, I'm going to let you take over for a bit. The Iowa basketball game is over, so I got to do an update on terrestrial radio, and you can take care of the...
How did they do?
Iowa defeated Penn State.
Wonderful.
Not in wrestling, though.
No.
That's a little bit tougher of a task than in basketball. So I expected you to say, well, nice to see Cale go down or something.
No, I knew better. Anyway.
So Austin's on deck on mat number one.
We'll bring you that match. It looks like it won't be too long because the Hempstead young man has his opponent on his back. And Hempstead just got a fall at 220. That was Gannon Grimmel, 37-1 over Ryan Gomez, Davenport North. So Grimmel moves on with a fall. And we'll see what Austin could do. Heavyweight here from, looks like, from Western Dubuque, Tyler Clark.
In fact, I can't enter in my system yet, so I'll be with you for this one.
Okay, Dylan Heffler. Heffler, 18-20 record, kind of a small heavyweight. A little smaller than Austin. Austin working for a double underhook, changes to a head inside single. Got that head inside single, takes him run backwards toward the edge of the mat, dives down like a football tackle, and scores his 2 points at the edge of the mat.
1:31 left here in the period. A 2-0 lead for Austin Ashbacker on his Western Dubuque opponent. Austin had a forfeit against Western Dubuque in the duel against the Bobcats up in Decorah 3 weeks ago today.
Okay, well, this boy from...
or 4 weeks ago today.
Heffler from Western Dubuque. He's got 18 wins on the year, so he's been around. Really done a pretty good job.
Austin able to get 2 on the back.
Kind of rolled him through, and then he stopped long enough to get the 2 count. Now he's got the arm up on the back. Now he's got the seat belt, and he takes him to his back. Austin a little high there, almost went over, but he's got him flat and pins him.
Austin Ashbacker on to the finals at 285 pounds with a 1-minute fall here at 285 as he defeats Dylan Heffler from Epworth Western Dubuque in 1 minute flat. So Austin becomes the 4th finalist of the day for Decorah to join Dirk Clark, Kellen O'Shea, and Alec Felschel in the finals here this afternoon. And Austin basically doing what we've seen him do forever right there,
tremendous.
just taking care of business.
Tremendous athlete. Tremendous athlete, just like a cat that always lands on his feet. Knows where he's at on the mat. Goes from one move to another really, really easily. Austin will be hard to beat.
And it's Austin comes in ranked number 3 in the state of Iowa in Class 3A. One of his few losses happened to Caleb Stack at the conference meet, and Stack's the top ranked heavyweight in Class 3A.
Got caught in a a fireman.
Yep.
And our outside leg fireman.
And to Stack's credit, it's tough to put a fireman's carry on Austin Ashbacker.
Yeah, Stack hit it hard. I mean, Austin got beat in a great move.
Well, and it was one of those deals afterwards where
it was a move that was done well and done hard. Set up nicely. That's kind of the three things to make a takedown work. It was set up nicely, it was done well, and it was done hard. And that's hard to beat. So we're winding a 195-pound match going here on mat 2. Like it's between Western Dubuque and North Scott. Kreider from North Scott, 43-1.
His brother, a wrestler at Luther College, Gene Kreider, his dad coaching in the corner, a graduate of Luther College.
And Horner from Western Dubuque, a record of 31-10. Looks like Kreider is up 6-1. On top now. 22 seconds left in the second period. Horner's Western Dubuque up to his feet, gets one. Kreider stalking him now. Good position. Collar tie by Kreider. Moves his head. Horner steps back. Kreider makes kind of a half shot at the legs, pushing Horner back to the edge of the mat as time runs out. Colin Kreider, name very familiar with North Scott wrestling. Goes down, start the third period, leading 6-2 over Bryce Horner from Western Dubuque. Horner comes up. Another very, very tough weight here. Horner tries to move. Kreider just shucks him by, takes him to his back, and he's getting the 3 count now. Looks like he's got the fall. So Colin Kreider from North Scott wins by fall in the third period over Bryce Horner from Epworth Western Dubuque. And Kreider with a fall. That looks like
I tell you what, since we're done for a while here, we're just going to put down the headsets and take about a 30-minute break here and allow us to relax.
Okay. We can do that.
Allow the wrestlers to relax, and we'll tell you briefly that Decorah has 4 wrestlers in the finals. Dirk Clark at 126, at 132, Kellen O'Shea at Alec Felstrel at 160, and Austin Ashbacker at 286. Joe Kanoki will be wrestling for third at 106. Wrestling for third at 120 will be Dustin Stortson. At 152, wrestling for third will be Cody Rittner. So all in all, I guess you got to be satisfied with where you're at from a Decorah perspective right now, David.
Yeah, I think everybody has wrestled up to their abilities. Some of them have wrestled out of their heads, in fact. And the ones that have lost didn't go down without a fight.
So, Dave, you and I will put down the headsets, and I tell you what, I think let's plan on joining the folks back around 3 o'clock this afternoon. 3 o'clock this afternoon, and we'll keep you up to date on what's going on. So if you have people logging on and you hear nothing, that's good for these next couple of minutes. Might be good all the time with you and I talking, but nonetheless,
we'll give it a shot.
Nonetheless, we'll just put down the headsets, and we'll be back with you about 3 o'clock this afternoon. Again, Decorah 4 wrestlers in the finals here this afternoon.